really what's happening is I'm just filling up a whole lot of space. I don't know what I'm going to do with it all. It might be valuable.
So here, let's say we have the typical axes for a Raman spectrum. And so you might have peaks that look something like there's a noise background, then you get a peak.
Is that of the original? Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
But if we were not to look at any sample and just run the laser through it, and a lot of times what you usually see in a Raman spectra anyway is the excitation from the laser. And so if you were to take the sample out, you would still see this. But essentially what you're going to see is once it starts getting closer down to 0, that's where the excitation wavelength occurs. And because Raman only happens with about 1 in 10 million photons, so the intensity for the laser excitation peak just kind of goes.
Yeah, and they probably normalize that out. So if you're interested, they're probably going to normalize that out, because I remember doing that process many times in that lab. The normalization, I had to automate the normalization process, so we would see only the information we were trying to extract from our test sample. And so they're going to do stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Very cool.
But
Very cool.
That's what the laser signal looks like, though, on the spectrum.
So, now let me just ask a question about Raman. You've got it to the point where you have firmware on that on the processor board, right?
Yes.
Okay. Matt, was it you who wrote that, or is
No.
it somebody else? You found a technical resource that wrote that. So at this point, I could go over there and do some USB calls, and I could pull this data and I could drop it into an array in LabVIEW and plot it up on a screen. That is something that I can do so fast it will make your head spin.
Wow.
But I'm just, I don't know. After that, what kind of math do you want to add to it? Well, I've got access to all the processing stuff that's out there that they have. So, we can do 3D stuff if we wanted to. 3D varying with time, or that would be 4D, right? I don't really know how to do 11D. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to stop at 4.
It never goes into that.
Yeah, it usually doesn't. You just usually wind up with a graph. But sometimes people do want to see a 3D for some reason or another, like if you've got some cool thing that makes a neat time varying 3-dimensional curve.
Definitely.
Yeah.
One other thing to be said about lasers is that shorter wavelengths give off higher intensity of Raman peaks than